First things first, barring the controversial Diego Sanchez disqualification win, I'm giving mad props to Jan Blachowicz for knocking out Corey Anderson. This was a matchup that I was looking forward to, that I honestly thought Anderson was going to win. And really, I thought that because of his output with his wrestling, the pace that he puts up, similar to their first fight, he would just tire out Jan and get the unanimous decision win. I really thought it was going that way because Jan likes to sit pretty flat-footed and put a lot of power into his strikes. And I felt like Corey would be able to avoid that with his footwork, with his movement, with his pace. And Jan just wouldn't find a home for it. But there was a completely different story to that. And that just goes to show you can never predict a fight 100% accurately. At least I can't. And that's probably more common in my case anyway. So props to Jan. He came in there and he threw that beautiful, beautiful punch as Corey Anderson came in from that leg kick and just knocked him out. And there was just really no need for follow-up punches after that, which has been the case for those that have been knocked out by Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz. God, I know I'm butchering that. Hopefully I never run into him and he asks me why I butchered his name. But what a good matchup. Probably a title eliminator right off the knockout. Blachowicz went and saw John Jones in the crowd, pointing at him, telling him he wanted his belt, and Jones seemed more than happy to oblige. So I'm thinking we're probably going to see that next. If not, we should. But you never know. Reyes might get the rematch. You just never know with the UFC. But me personally, let's just move on to a new challenger. Let Reyes work his way back, which I know he would probably pretty easily. And then we can go. So that's what my thoughts on the Jan Corey fight. I really hate to see Corey Anderson go out like that, you know. I was really rooting for him, his underdog status, and him being overlooked. And Jan just wasn't going to be denied that night, and he wasn't. He came out with a spectacular finish. Definitely going to move him up the ranks. Definitely going to be interesting to match his power up with John Jones, which, of course, I won't be the first power puncher Jones has faced. Probably won't be the last. I don't want to go into a prediction too early if they do. Probably wait till they announce the fight. Look it over, think about it. But something tells me I'm not going to bet against the GOAT. So moving on to earlier action. Lando Vantana and Yancy Medeiros. That fight was kind of interesting to me. Lando came in. He kept his hands real low. He had really good footwork and counter movement. But I just didn't like seeing him carry his hands low. I just felt like he was going to get kicked in the head by Yancy. I mean, Yancy Medeiros used to go in there and just slug out guys and put pressure on them. But he fought a little more cautious this time, which really surprised me. I felt that he'd gone a little bit more aggressive, he probably would have won the fight. To me, it seemed like he had a lot of openings against Venata. But Venata was good. He stayed out, he found his range. When he did strike, he was landing really good. But he did eat some counters, though, that worried me. And I felt like Yancy could have opened up with those counters a little bit more. And then open up with the kicks. Kind of confuse him a little bit. But it just never really happened. And he went on to beat him. Unanimous decision. A fun fight to watch, nonetheless, It's always fun when you see somebody who might be putting a hole in their game or they're keeping their hands down, how the other person's going to react. And that's what I was looking for the whole time. But props to Lando, dude got it done. Stayed out of harm's way, even though he was keeping his hands down. And I really can't see him. I wait to see him fight again. Moving on to that, we got Ray Borg. Ray Borg, by the way, man, what a clinic he put on against Rogerio Bontorin. God, I'm horrible at these names. And Ray Borg just went in there and out wrestled him, threw him around for 3 rounds, kept on him, had his back for at least good 40 seconds for round 2, round 3, I believe. And he just threw him around, had his way with him. Really wrestling clinic. We didn't get to see too much of the striking from either guy, Ray Borg just went in there and really dominated the fight, made it his fight from beginning to end. The little stand-up that we did see, credit both guys. Rogerio looked like he had some pretty fast hands, but he does need to polish up his boxing a little bit. I did see a few telegraphing body shots, but, he was down the scorecard, so I'm sure he's trying to make some magic happen, but he couldn't get off, Once Borg got a hold of him, he just threw him down, kept him there, punished him a little bit. Landed some good elbows on him, Borg did. Went in there, took the fight, won a decision, and props to Ray Borg for winning. Congratulations on his win. He's having some success returning. Good to hear that his son is doing okay from surgery. More props to him, man. Can't wait to see you back in the ring either. Or octagon, shall I say. And continue moving up those flyweight ranks. Also, he needs to work on his weight cutting. No excuse, It's got to sting when you got to pay the guy you beat 20% of your purse. But hey, that's just my opinion. Moving on, our first disqualification of the night. Broke Weaver, Rodrigo Vargas. And man, that was a nasty knee to a down opponent. This is probably the most legitimate disqualification I've seen in all of MMA, really. Even slow motion, it was bad in real time, and slow motion really gave you that feel of how bad it really could have been for him. Just like I said, I don't like seeing fights end that way. I don't know if this was heat of the moment, maybe. Maybe he just didn't understand the rules fully. Really, I give him the benefit of the doubt, There's two guys going in there wanting to beat the brakes off each other. Tensions are high, stress is high, adrenaline glands are pumping. I'm going to give it a Rodrigo the benefit of the doubt. Sucks that it ended that way. Hopefully these guys can wind it back, maybe face off again. Nobody wants to win with the disqualification unless you're... Well, we'll get to that here in a minute. But good luck, man. They both look pretty good. Brock did get caught a few times, and he was, I don't want to say he was on his way to ending the fight, being knocked out, but I feel like we would have saw more, and that disqualification is just really unfortunate. Hopefully they'll run it back, and we'll get to see these two face off again, and hopefully we'll get to see the best from both of them. Let's see, moving on to our next fight. Montana De La Rosa, decision, Maria Romero Barella. Pretty one-sided fight there too. De La Rosa just used her wrestling pedigree she had, pretty much kept her down when she wanted. Do some pretty decent strikes. Really had her way with her, did threaten with some submissions. All around, she was well-rounded. She just really had her way, bullied her a little bit, and took the unanimous decision nod. And now, let's get to the most controversial DQ of the night. Diego Sanchez and Michel. I think I called him Michael in my last video. I'll just call him Michael here too. Michael Pereira. Man, that was just... It was an awkward fight to begin from the beginning. Diego Sanchez is known for being a weird guy, and that's fine, but I don't think there's any justifying what went on with this corner. I know they came out and they said, oh, well, that's just, fighter to trainer lingo when you have a relationship. I'm not really buying that. I think the guy sounded like he didn't know what he was doing, and he should never be in any MMA fighter's corner. Of course, I could be wrong, but it didn't make no sense to me. And I don't think it was doing Diego any favors either. I know Diego's that type of guy known to be outside of the box, I guess you could say, a little strange. But he's been doing this for so long that I think I think he just don't have it anymore. And I think the way he accepted that DQ win was just a little bit of foreshadowing of that. You know, it's one thing to say that your body's holding up. Yeah, you don't have no brain damage, you don't have anything like that, but you're really not hanging with these guys. And Pereira was just too big and way too fast for you. You know, if you're sprinting at a guy and you still can't catch him, and then you have your corner telling you to be sticky but not sticky, it's just a mess. And I wish the best to Diego, and hopefully he can come back from this and bounce back in a big way. But like I said, he's been doing this for a long time. Original Ultimate Fighter winner, shout out. You know, definitely a pioneer in the sport, pioneer in the welterweight division as well as the lightweight division. But you could tell the miles wearing down on him. You can tell that there's a new era of fighters in the octagon, a new breed, and really, it was just a ball of confusion to me for Diego Sanchez and his corner. And it kind of makes me sad to see him that way, but I'm sure Diego doesn't see it as I'm seeing it. And if there's anybody out there that really cares about Diego, that's really close to him, sit down and talk with this guy. I think he needs a real honest assessment of where he's at as a competitor, where he's at as a human, and how realistic are his championship goals in this new era of MMA with these new talents, with this guy, these welterweights that are just, I mean, Michel Pereira looked just a weight class above him, and he was bigger, he was faster, he was stronger, and props up to him. He threw some beautiful strikes, really bodied Diego. I mean, bodied him up with some hard hooks, hard leg kicks, hard body kicks. And he just was away. He found his range, stuck him, moved out of Diego's range. And like I said, Diego was doing everything he could. He was trying to run, trying to sprint to catch him, and Pereira was just too fast. He would just use his footwork. And also, to Pereira's credit, he didn't do anything too crazy. He didn't look like, he was just doing backflips and capoeira out there. He was being entertaining, like he plans to be, and he was striking Diego with hard shots up until he threw that illegal knee that cut him. And like I said, I think if it was any other welterweight in there that ate an illegal knee like that and was still good, that fight would have went on, and we would probably be having a different conversation. We'd be talking about how one guy has heart and the other guy is skilled, and it just seemed like Diego was like, you know what? Let's just end it. Give me the win bonus, and let's go back to Albuquerque. But it was tough for me to watch. And this is probably one of the fights I'm going to go on the longest about because, like I said, watching MMA and watching Diego and his career, it's just bad for me. I know he's been beating some guys, but this one just really showed to me how far he really is from the deep talent. And, I guess that's just the way it is, You get older, your body just can't move like it used to. And I think all that denial that he was in about how good a shape he's in, how his body is, I think that all really showed his true nature when he accepted the DQ win. And I hate to sound like I'm just shitting on the guy. It's not that. It's just, like I said, you've seen him be a warrior for so long, and I think this fight really showed that where he really is as a fighter and his career. And there's probably some things he needs to consider about his career. But, you know, props to both of these guys. Props to him for stepping in the cage and still trying to fight. You know, he went in there, he accepted the fight, he got outclassed, accepted DQ win. I say for next fight, you know, Diego is really just in a gatekeeper role for me for what I think from now on. And as far as Pereira goes, he looked really good. I'd probably give him a top 10 guy, maybe even top 5 in the division. And, you know, put him in some deep waters, you know. Really test his skill. I don't want to see him fight some other gatekeeper type of guy. Let's get him in there. Let's put him in some deep waters. Put him in some guys that can match his speed or his skill, or, you know, counter him. Hey, he's fast, he can move, but this guy's long and stays in your face, you know, type of deal. That I would really like to see for him. Diego Sanchez, good luck. Hopefully, you know, we fight again. Welcoming some up-and-comer. As for the main event, Corey Anderson, hopefully I can see him bounce back. Can't really think of opponents for any of these guys right now. For Corey Anderson, I still like him I still would like for him to fight top-tier light heavyweights. And Jan, I'd like to see him fight for a title, you know. I think he earned it with this one. You know, I think that makes him, 1-7 or 7-1 for his last 8 fights. Something like that. So yeah, you know, he called out John Jones. I think it's an interesting fight. I think it's a marketable fight. You know, his power and his strength and power could be troublesome for John Jones. You know, if he can stuff the takedowns like Reyes did and connect. He puts people down, he connects. That's just the nature of the beast. I'm ready to see him fight John Jones. I think he's earned it again. I don't know when they would do it. Probably sometime in the summer, I would believe. I don't think John Jones came out injured from the Reyes fight by any means. So he's probably ready to defend his title again. I'm looking forward to seeing it. You know, John Jones didn't look like the old John Jones. He still shined as a champion, I believe, but there are some holes in his game. But who knows? He can come in here and do what Corey Anderson could. Put a pace on Jan that's not going to allow him to rely on his power. He's going to wear him out, put him down, or it can go the other way. You know what I'm saying? He can catch John Jones like he caught Corey his last fight and put him out. Become the new champ. Really intriguing to me. You know, I like seeing matchups like that. So that's all I have for you on this one. If you listen, thank you very much. And I will see you guys in the next video.